Thank you, Madam Speaker. And my question today is to the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Infrastructure and Regional Development. Will the Deputy Prime Minister update the House on how changes to the coastal shipping regulations will boost Australian jobs and ensure its sustainability into the future?
I call the Honourable the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Infrastructure and Regional Development.
Well, thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and I thank the honourable member for Braddon for the question. Representing the island state in the island country, shipping is particularly important to Tasmania. But shipping is important to the whole of the nation, and having a competitive shipping industry could make a real difference to the way in which we deliver our freight task in Australia, as well as, of course, ensuring that we are able to export commodities, import commodities in the most efficient possible way. We have the fourth largest shipping task in the world because of the bulk commodities we export and the products we bring into this country. But instead of us having a healthy and vibrant shipping industry, we've got one which is in steady decline. Now, Labor, when they were last in office, introduced a Coastal Trading Act, which they did because the MUA, the union which is one of their masters, and which has essentially presided over a steady decline in the Australian shipping industry over a very long period of time, insisted that they do it. Now, as a result, Labor promised us that we would end up with more people employed in shipping, we'd have more Australian ships and a more efficient industry. Well, precisely the opposite has happened. Since Labor's legislation has been introduced, there's been a 64% decline in the tonnage of Australian flag ships, a 64% decline in the tonnage of Australian ships. In addition to that, the volume of coastal freight carried by ships has reduced by 2.5% a year. Reduced at a time when our national freight task is growing enormously. Shipping share is in steady decline because of the legislation that Labor has introduced. The cost of shipping around Australia has gone up enormously. Bell Bay Aluminium say that their freight went up 63% in the first year of this program. Now, the reality is that Labor's shipping reform has been a disastrous failure. There is not a single ship registered on the second register that was created under Labor's legislation. And that's because the MUA effectively have a veto over that whole operation. Now, we need to reform shipping in this country. We want Australian ships to do well, but we also need to ensure that we've got the most efficient shipping task possible. Now, why is it that it's cheaper it's twice as expensive to take a container from Melbourne to Brisbane as it is from Melbourne to Singapore? Because of the cost structure of this industry, we are costing jobs in manufacturing and other Australian industries, and we're continuing to lose jobs in shipping. Now, this government wants to reform the Australian shipping arrangements so that we can get rid of the red tape, the 1,000 or more hours of additional red tape that Labor imposed through this legislation. That's the kind of thing that can make a difference to make sure that shipping can play its proper role in moving our freight around the country.